Hi, welcome back to our Mowgli stories. So last time I stopped at at the point where Mowgli was being kidnapped by the monkeys, who were carrying him over their own roots on the top branches of the trees in the forest. So they have their lanes and highways on the height on the top levels of the trees, and Mowgli was being carried at a very fast pace along those routes by the monkeys. For a time, he was afraid of being dropped. Then he grew angry, but knew better than to struggle, and then he began to think. The first thing was to send back word to Balu and Bagheera, for at the pace the monkeys were going, he knew his friends would be left far behind. It was useless to look down, for he could only see the top sides of the branches. So he stared upward and saw far away in the blue Chill the kite, balancing and wheeling as he kept watch over the jungle, waiting for things to die. Chill saw that the monkeys were carrying something and dropped a few hundred yards to find out whether their load was good to eat. He whistled with surprise when he saw Mowgli being dragged up to a treetop and heard him give the kite call for "We of one blood, thou and I." So Mowgli had learnt this kite talk, and he was talking to the kite as he was being carried by the monkeys. "We of one blood, thou and I." The waves of the branches closed over the boy, but Chill balanced away to the next tree in time to see the little brown face come up again. "Mark my trail," Mowgli shouted. "Tell Balu of the Seoni pack and Bagheera of the Council Rock." "In whose name, brother?" asked Chill, as he had never seen Mowgli before, though of course he had heard of him. "Mowgli, the frog man cub, they call me. Mark my trail." So Mowgli has conveyed to Chill, the kite, that he should tell Bagheera and Balu that he is being kidnapped by the monkeys, and this is the route they had taken. "Mowgli, the frog man cub, they call me. Mark my trail." The last words were shrieked as he was being swung through the air, but Chill nodded and rose up until he looked no bigger than a speck of dust. And there he hung, watching with his telescopic eyes the swaying of the treetops as Mowgli's escort whirled along. "They never go far," he said with a chuckle. "They never do what they set out to do, always pecking at new things. They are these Bandarlog. This time, if I have any eyesight, they have pegged down trouble for themselves. For Balu is no fledgling, and Bagheera can, as I know, kill more than goats." So he's rocked on his wings, his feet gathered up under him, and waited. Meanwhile, Balu and Bagheera were furious with rage and grief. Bagheera climbed as he had never climbed before, but the thin branches broke beneath his weight and he slipped down, his claws full of bark. Why did you not warn the man cub?" he roared to poor Balu. Balu, who had set off at a clumsy trot in the hope of overtaking the monkeys. What was the use of half saying, half slaying him with blows if you didn't, if you did not warn him? "He says, hurry, hurry, we may still catch them," Balu panted. "At that speed, it would not tire a wounded cow. Teacher of the law, cub beater, a mile of that rolling to and fro would burst thee open. Sit still and think. Make a plan. This is no time for chasing. They may drop him if we follow too close. Arla, who? They may have dropped him already, being tired of carrying him. Who can trust the Bandarlog? Put dead bats on my head. Give me, give me black bones to eat. Roll me roll me into the hives of wild bees, that I may be stung to death, and bury me with the hyena, for I am the most miserable of bears. Allah, ooh, oh, Mowgli, 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 why did I not warn thee against the monkey folk instead of breaking your head? Now perhaps I may have knocked the day's lesson out of his mind, and he will be done in the jungle without the master works. So, uh, Balu the bear is regretting that he had knocked Mowgli on the head for not learning the words. Balu clasped his paws over his ears and rolled to and fro, moaning. At least he gave me all the words correctly a little time ago, said Bagheera impatiently. Balu, thou hast neither memory nor respect. What would the jungle think if I, the Black Panther, curled myself up like Iki, the porcupine, and howled? What do I care what the jungle thinks? He may be dead by now. Unless and until they drop him from the branches in sport or kill him out of idleness, I have no fear for the man cub. He is wise and well taught, and above all, he has the eyes that make the jungle people afraid. But, and it's a great evil, he is in the power of the Bandarlog, and they, because they live in the trees, have no fear of any of our people. Bagheera licked one forepaw thoughtfully. Fool that I am! Oh, fat, brown, root-digging fool that I am, said Balu, uncurling himself with a jerk. It is true what Hathi, the wild elephant, says, to each his own fear, and they, the Bandarlog, fear Ka, the rock snake. He can climb as well as they can. He steals the young monkeys in the night. The whisper of his name makes their wicked tails cold. Let us go to Ka. So Bagheera and Balu are going to look for Ka. What will he do for us? He is not of our tribe, being footless and with most evil eyes, said Bagheera. He is very old and very cunning. Above all, he is always hungry, said Balu hopefully. Promise him many goats. He sleeps for a full month after he has once eaten. He may be asleep now, and even were he to be awake, what if he would rather kill his own goats? Bagheera, who did not know much about Ka, was naturally suspicious. Then in that case, you and I together, old hunter, might make him see this reason. Here Balu rubbed his faded brown shoulder against the panther, and they went off to look for Ka, the rock python. They found him stretched out on a warm ledge in the afternoon sun, admiring his beautiful new coat, for he had been in retirement for the last 10 days, changing his skin. And now it was very splendid, darting his big blunt-nosed head along the ground and twisting the 30 feet of his body into fantastic knots and curves, and licking his lips as he thought of his dinner to come. That is Ka, the rock python. He has not eaten, said Balu, with a grunt of relief. As soon as he saw the beautifully mottled brown and yellow jacket. Be careful, Bagheera. He is always a little blind after he has changed his coat, and very quick to strike. Ka was not a poisoned snake. In fact, he rather despised the poisoned snakes as cowards. But his strength lay in his hug, and when he had once lapped his huge coils around anybody, there was no more to be said. Good hunting, cried Balu, sitting up on his haunches. Like all snakes of his breed, Ka was rather deaf and did not hear the call at first. Then he curled up ready for any accident his head lowered. Good hunting for us all, he answered. Oh, Balu, what dost thou do here? Good hunting, Bagheera, one of us at least needs food. Is there any news of game afoot? A doe now, or even a young buck? I am as empty as a dried well, said Kaa. We are hunting, said Balu carelessly. He knew that you must not hurry Kaa, he is too big. Give me permission to come with you, said Kaa. A blow more or less is nothing to thee, Bagheera or Balu, but I have to wait and wait for days in a wood path and climb half a night on the mere chance of a young ape. Sure, the branches are not what they were when I was young. Rotten twigs and dry boughs they are all. Maybe your great weight has something to do with the matter, said Balu. I am a fair length, said Kaa, with a little pride. But for all that, it's the fault of this new-grown timber. I came very near to falling on my last hunt. Very near indeed, and the noise of my slipping, for my tail was not tight wrapped around the tree. The sound of my slipping woke up the Bandarlog, and they called me the most evil of names. So that is the jungle life. The rock python is hunting monkeys, and the monkeys are abusing the python, and cows become heavy and their branches break. Footless yellow earthworm, said Bagheera under his whiskers, as though he were trying to remember something. Shh, have you ever called me that? Have they ever called me that? Footless earthworm? Asked Kaa. Something of that kind was what they shouted to us last moon, but we never noticed them. They will say anything, even that you have lost all your teeth, and will not face anything bigger than a kid, because they are indeed shameless, these Mandarlog, because you are afraid of the he-goat's horns. Bagheera went on sweetly. They are just instigating Kaa. Now a snake, especially a very old python like Kaa, very seldom shows that he is angry. But Balu and Bagheera could use the big swallowing muscles on either side of Kaa's throat, ripple and bulge. The Bandarlog have shifted their grounds, he said quietly. When I came up into the city sun today, I heard them whooping among the treetops. It is the Bandarlog that we follow now, said Balu. But the words stuck in his throat, for that was the first time in his memory that one of the jungle people had owned to being interested in the doings of the monkeys. Beyond doubt, then, it is no small thing that takes two such hunters, leaders in their own jungle, I am certain, on the trail of the Bandarlog, said Kaa, courteously, as he swelled with curiosity. So they got Kaa interested. Indeed, said Balu, I am no more than the old and sometimes very foolish teacher of the law to the Sioni wolf cubs. And Bagheera here is Bagheera, said the Black Panther, and his jaws shut with a snap, for he did not believe in being humble. The trouble is this, Kaa. These nut-eaters, pickers of the palm leaves, have stolen away our man-cub, of whom you have perhaps heard. I heard some news from Iki. The quills make him presumptuous. The Iki is a porcupine, and of a man-thing that has entered into a wolf pack. But I did not believe. Iki is full of stories, half-heard and very badly told. But it is true, he is such a man-cub as never was, said Balu. The best and wisest and boldest of man-cubs, my own pupil, who shall make the name of Balu famous through all the jungles, and besides, we love Kaa, we love him, the man-cub. Chit, said Kaa, shaking his head to and fro. I also have known what love is. There are tales I could tell that need a clear night when we are all well fed to praise properly, said Bagheera. Our man cub is in the hands of the Bandarlog right now, and we know that of all jungle people, they fear Ka alone. They fear me alone? They have good reason, said Ka. Chattering, foolish, vain, foolish, chattering are the monkeys. But a man thing in their hands is no good luck. They grow tired of the nuts and they pick and throw them down. They carry a branch half a day, meaning to do great things with it. Then they snap it up in two. The man thing is not to be envied. They called me also yellowfish. Was it not? Worm, earthworm, said Bagheera, as well as many other things, which I cannot now say for shame. We must remind them to speak well of their master. Hush! We might help their wandering memories. Now, which way did they go with the cub? The jungle alone knows. Toward the sunset, I believe, said Balu. We had thought that you would know, Ka. How? I take them when they come in my way, but I do not hunt the bandarlog, or frogs, or garden scum on a water hole for that matter. Up, up, hello, look up. Balu of the Sioni wolf pack. Oh, oh, up, look up, Balu of the Sioni pack. Balu looked up to see where the voice came from, and there was Chill the kite sweeping down with the sun shining on his upturned flanks of his wings. It was near Chilly's bedtime, but he had ranged all over the jungle looking for the Balu and had missed him in the thick jungle. What is it? Said Balu. I have seen Mowgli among the Bandarlog. He made me tell you. He bade me tell you. I watched the Bandarlog have taken him beyond the river to the monkey city, to the cold lairs. They may stay there for a night, or 10 nights, or an hour. I have told the bats to watch them through the dark time. That is my message. Good hunting, all of you. So the kite gave the message to Balu. Now Balu knows that the Bandarlog have taken Mowgli across the river. Full gorge and a deep sea to you, Chill, cried Bagheera. I will remember you in my next kill and put aside the head for you alone. Oh, best of kites. Oh, it is nothing, said the kite. The boy held the master bird. I could have done no less, said Chill, circling up again to his side. So because the boy, that is Mowgli, said the master bird, so the kite said that, because he said that, I have to respect it. So I have informed you. And he went away. He has not forgotten to use his tongue, said Balu, with a chuckle of pride. To think that one so young remembering the master word for the birds too, while he was being pulled across the trees. That's great. It was most firmly driven into him, said Bagheera, because Balu had knocked him on the head. He knocked him on the head, so Mowgli remembered it. It was most firmly driven into him, said Bagheera. But I am proud of him. Now we must go to the cold lairs. They all knew where that place was, but few of the jungle people ever went there because what they called the cold lairs was an old deserted city lost and buried in the jungle. And beasts seldom use a place that men have once used. The wild boar will, but the hunting tribes do not. Besides, the monkey